Continuing our series on how radio works on radio spectrum signals. Radio frequency list. Common radio frequency bands include the following: AM radio stations 530 kilohertz to 1.7 megahertz, shortwave radio bands from 5.9 megahertz to 26.10 megahertz, citizens band CB radio is 26.9 to 27.4 megahertz, television stations is 54 to 88 megahertz from channel 2 to 6, interesting. FM radios is 88.108. We talked about that earlier. And television stations are 174 to 220 megahertz for channels 7 through 13. What is funny is that every wireless technology you can imagine has its own little band. There are hundreds of them. For example, garage door openers are around 400. Cordless phones are 43 to 50 megahertz, 900, 1.9 giga, and 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz. Cell phones are only from 824 to 849. Baby monitors are 49 megahertz. Radio controlled airplanes, about 72 megahertz. Radio controlled cars, 75. Wildlife tracker collars is 215 to 220. Air traffic controller radar is 960 to 1215. Global positioning system is GPS is 1200 to 1500. And deep space radio is 2200 to 2300 megahertz. So this is your spectrum. This is how people communicate on different waves and don't cross each other. Why is AM radio in a band 550 to 1700 while FM is at 88 to 108? It's all completely arbitrary, and a lot of it has to do with history. So what's the history? AM has been around a lot longer than FM radio. The first broadcast radio occurred in 1906 or so, and the frequency allocated in AM radio occurring 1920s. The predecessor to the FCC was established by Congress in 1927. I will be reading that. In the 1920s, radio electronic capabilities were fairly limited, hence the relatively new low frequencies for AM radio. Television stations were pretty much non-existent until 1946, so when the FCC allocated commercial broadcast. By 1949, a million people owned TV sets, and by 1951, there were 10 million TVs in America. FM radio was invented by Edwin Armstrong in order to make high-fidelity and static-free music broadcasting possible. He built the first radio station in 1939, but FM did not become really popular in the 1960s, hence the higher frequency of the FM radio. On the spectrum. Radio frequency scanners. Most radios that you see in everyday life are single-purpose radios. For an example, an AM radio can listen to AM radio stations at a frequency of 535 to 1.7 megahertz, but nothing else. FM radio can listen to FM stations on the band from 88 to 108, but nothing else. CB radio is from 40 channels devoted to Citizens Band, which is CB. Nothing else. Scanners are different. Scanners are radio receivers that have extremely wide frequency ranges so you can listen to all kinds of radio signals. Typically, scanners are used to tune into police, fire, and emergency radio in local systems, so scanners are often called police scanners. But you can use a scanner to listen to all kinds of conversations. Generally, you will either set a scanner up to switch between a whole range of frequencies and stop scanning when you detect frequencies, or set up a scanner specifically frequency and listen to the channel. In order to use a scanner, it's ideal to have good frequency tables so you know where the action is. For more information, check out the links on the next page.